Hi, my name is Megan Doherty. I am 30 years old and I just got my driver's license. Now, I'm not sharing this just to brag or celebrate, although I am also doing both at the same time because I'm very proud of myself. There's a reason for this story, and if you'll be patient with me for a few moments, I would like to tell it. When I was 16, like many 16-year-olds, I wanted a driver's license to have more flexibility, more freedom, be able to go places, all of that stuff. So I signed up for driver's ed, and I hated it. I really, really hated it. Being in the car made me nervous. I got sweaty, nauseous, anxious. It was definitely not something that I was comfortable doing. So after a couple of lessons, I just gave it up and stopped. I decided it was not the thing for me to be doing right now. Couldn't take it and do high school at the same time. So where I was growing up in Ottawa, Canada, you have your learner's permit, the one that lets you take the lessons, for about 5 years. Towards the end of those 5 years, I had moved out, was living on my own, and my mom came to visit me one day. She fell down the stair and broke her leg. And she said to me, "Megan, you've got to drive me home. Then Dad can take me to the urgent care center. You need to help me out. You need to drive the car." And I was horrified. I hadn't driven or, been in the driver's seat of a car in almost 5 full years. But I thought, okay, this is an emergency. I'm going to have to step up and do it. And I tried. I was walking with Mom down the stairs. She's leaning, holding on to me, leaning, we're walking down. She says, "You've been practicing, right? You've been practicing this driving." And I thought, oh no, you can't think I've been driving. And I said, "Yes, Mom, I've been practicing on the car that I keep in my ass." We both had a good laugh, and that kind of little bit of humor managed to get us through the next step into the car. It was not a fun drive, my mother shrieking beside me, all this traffic, all this stuff I wasn't familiar with, but we made it home, and her foot was fine. Everything turned out okay. Fast forward to another almost 10 years, and when I was in my late 20s, about 28, and I decided, after living in Montreal, even though it had fantastic public transit, I was ready to learn how to drive. It's a life skill I really wanted to have as I got into my 30s, the next part of my life. So I signed up for a driver's ed again, and I started going through the process, which, because I haven't enjoyed the process very much, and it's kind of complicated in Quebec, you have to do a lot of things in order. It's taken about 18 months, finishing today. This second round of doing it hasn't been easy either. I failed my first written test the first time I took it, and I failed my first practical test the first time I took it. Today I passed, and for the first time I am able to drive a car without a grown-up monitoring what I'm doing, and it feels really, really good. So I share this story, this very long and sort of rambling story, because I want to talk about playing the long game. I tried to get my driver's license when I was 16, playing the short game. That was something that I wanted immediately. I wanted to be able to do it right then. It didn't end up working out. I wasn't ready for it in a lot of different ways. And even as I started this new process, as a much older adult, I still really wasn't ready when I started. The process that should have taken a year took me, not even 18 months, closer to two and a bit. And it wasn't until very recently, as I really had been practicing and working on it and thinking about how great a car is going to be in the slightly more rural area I'm in now, that I was ready. And when I became ready, it became easier to do all of the things that I didn't like doing. And that is sort of how it works in our businesses too. An idea that we have or a project that we want to work on, it may not be the right time for it. We may not be ready to do that work, and we may not be ready for the outcomes of what that work is going to mean. Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer said in one of her episodes, she was dough. She was cookie dough, and she needed to bake a little bit more, cook a little bit more, be in the oven before she became cookies. And a lot of our ideas and our businesses start off as dough, and we have to do work on them and on ourselves and with others before we have business cookies. So when you're ready, when you've put in the work, when you've done things that develop you and your theories, your skills, your abilities, and your confidence, all these things, it's going to work. Or you might find out that it wasn't something that you needed or at the end of the day really wanted anyway.